You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Sensational from him. Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Teo Hernandez al gol! Teo Hernandez! Ancora lui! Una meraviglia! Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic! Fuori classe assoluto!
Live, here we are, and Stevie P, James saying, good evening from the dirty south.
Yes.
I like
yes.
it. You know what, Steve? I'm just going to go straight into it because I want to ask you what the hell you're doing, but we're going to make this part of the podcast. So everybody's there? Everybody's ready? And by the way, I've had a few beers, so I'm feeling good. Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here, where we talk everything Milan, where O Leao, where art thou, Leao, in Milan, and where abandon ship, Milan, and when we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Gentlemen, good evening. Stevie P, can you please explain to me, what is this look, the standing up? Is this a new setup for you?
No. Well, yeah, it is. And I was just looking at Alessandro's comment there. Did I get a new camera? No. My wife actually has these standing desks. So I decided that today I'm going to stand for today's podcast in honor of our great Milan.
You're gonna stand in the honor of our great Milan. I like that. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome everybody. I just want to start off and Stevie P, just a heartfelt condolences to our friend Facebook Frank. Fortunately, lost his dad. We just, we want to say our condolences to him from the Milan Weekly Podcast family, to all the comments, all the people that you interact with. So our shout outs to you, and we're thinking about you, buddy.
Stay strong, Gumbare Francisco.
Stevie P, I wanted to talk to you about something. So, you know that Saturday I purchased myself FIFA 21. I started playing. Now, guys, remember, I haven't played FIFA since FIFA 12, so it's been a good 10 years. Stevie P, I played 2 games. I felt a little confident. I went right away to online playing, and I felt good. I was beating everybody. I'm like, look at me, I went from Division 10 to Division 9 to Division 8. All of a sudden, Stevie P, I got to Division 7. I realized that playing with Milan might not be the best of ideas. Now, I wanted to ask you, are you ready to maybe coach me? Because I've been playing on the season Milan, and right now I have Ibrahimovic and Leao injured. How many of you want to see Stevie P, coach me in FIFA? Steve, what do you think?
I'm there. I'm going to shape you up for this new adventure that you're embarking on in FIFA virtual play. Because as a real player, you sucked.
Steve, the fact that I sucked as a real player has nothing to do with my FIFA skills. Now, if anybody wants to see that, we got the Twitch channel happening. Maybe I'm going to be playing FIFA, have Stevie P as my coach. And Stevie, the first game that I played with Leao, he kind of missed an open net. So I'm just going to leave that to you. And I needed to call you this weekend to let you know, and you told me off, so I can't wait for that to happen, right?
Oh, my God.
Stevie P, anything in housekeeping that you want to get out of the way, or are we getting straight into this game?
Yeah, I'm wearing this Dublin here, the Dublin hoodie. Nice and hot, keeps me warm. Beautiful. Check out those guys for anybody, Milan Club Dublin. And I got the U.
And you know what? Look at this. Milan. You got the Milan Club Philly T-shirt. You got the Milan Club Dublin. What is that? A sports jacket?
Zip up.
I got the Milan Club Dublin. Look at that. You're gorgeous. Look at you. Beautiful. And on a side note, join the boys at Radio Rossonera for an English-only podcast. Did that a couple of hours ago. Great guys. And Steve, so humbling. We did speak about it last week. These kids, these teenagers, in their early 20s, like, oh, we look up to you, and what feedback do you have for us? And I'm looking, I'm like, Steve and I, it's like, we're just two regular guys. What would
Keep on putting up the content. That's all. That's
exactly.
That's the most I can give you in terms of advice. And this is for the Fanta family who are traveling again. They're in Utah.
Can you parade that T-shirt for us, Steve? Maybe give us a little look.
I can't go further than this, Daniel. I'm stuck here.
That's for the Fantas, right?
Yeah, and this here, guys, you can get it. Support your clubs locally or worldwide. Milan Club World.
On a side note, Stevie P, if David is listening to this, David, call my phone because we'd like to know where the bus is right now. But that's
David's not listening. He's not calling your phone tonight.
He's not calling.
They have no electricity where they are. They're in Utah.
Stevie P, I know we had daylight savings time. Where we were able to watch this game at 3:45. Another beauty of watching the game at 4 p.m. this Thursday, so I don't have to leave work too late. But Stevie P, I'm going to ask you, the news of Kajar, as you like to call him, not starting on Sunday, Gabbia coming on. What were your feelings, let's say, starting from there before the game started?
Look, what were my feelings? Gabbia coming in, starting after a long drought with injury, and Tomori partnering him, not that much experience, not too deep in the center back position, should, knock on wood, if anything happened there. So to be nervous, I didn't know how they were going to deal with it. I was actually very surprised that Gattuso started Mertens over Osimhen.
Yeah.
Osimhen was the one that I was going to be worried about, whether Kajar was there or not, just because of his physicality and his speed. So when I saw Mertens, it's not like I was relieved, but I think that Gabbia and Tomori in general did actually pretty good for two guys that have never played together before. So
I can't argue with that with you with that one. For Gabbia to come, obviously he wasn't the best player out there, but for the fact that he hasn't played for all that time and never played with Tomori, but in the end, Steve, this was an horrendous play. And I know we're going to get into, the penalty shot and this and that. Steve, we had no business even trying to battle to try to, that penalty. We were horrible. Is there any other explanation? And, according the way I call this podcast, Leao or Leao, where are thou now? Where is he? I'm going to let you speak on him because I know you're very vocal about Leao, but take us through your feelings of this game.
Guys, we could sum it up. I saw a post today. Very easy, guys. 9 games without Ibra, 1 goal from the strikers. And that's Rebic. It's a problem, guys. We're not going to win games if we don't score goals. Donnarumma in the defense and the midfield, they can hold. They will make mistakes. We have to remember that it's a young team. But against Napoli, guys, to be very honest, I'm done with the excuse that we're missing a lot of guys, and it's not to discredit anybody who's playing.
You know what's worse, Steve, is that Napoli didn't come out and completely dominated us. I think that's what's frustrating, right?
Yeah, not at all, right? So the game was there to be won. We played the opposition that suits up on the other side, and was Napoli the best? I don't think that they brought their A game. I think they missed a lot of chances too, and they didn't have clear-cut chances. There wasn't any. There's a stat that's called big chances. They didn't have any big chances. They had, Zelinski in front of net, and he didn't really connect well, and it rolled to Donnarumma. He made a save. I remember, Ruiz coming into the box, and the ball's on his right, and not taking that opportunity to take a strike on goal because it's not his favorite left foot. But besides that, and we can even talk about the goal later.
Okay, let's talk, Steve. Let's talk about the goal. People have pointed the finger at Tio Hernandez. People have pointed the finger at Presidente Franchesi. Who do you put, quotes, the blame on that goal?
It's just a breakdown, right? It's you giving up a ball in a very bad spot. We've said it before. There's other goals. I know that Tio Hernandez, I do blame him, where he gets too excited and he's ahead of himself, and there's really no one to cover him. But here, guys, it's typical Catenaccio football: give away and contropiede the other way. And Napoli made all the right passes, and split us open. We were caught, and those things will happen. And to be very honest, I think Napoli got lucky, because if you look at the goal,
but
he stuffs his shot, right? So he didn't even take the shot that he wanted to take to get behind us, right? So
Steve,
what was going to happen.
The frustration from Milan fans, is it from a subpar performance, or is it that, oh my God, Napoli didn't do anything to try to win this game? Like, not that they didn't do anything, but this was a game that the way we played, we would have been, okay, here's a tie, right? I'm not going to talk about that penalty. It just, I don't know, like Napoli, they played better than us. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they deserve to win. Maybe I am saying they deserve to win, but I don't know, Steve. It's just, how does this team go from the team that we saw against Manchester United to this team here?
Well, look, guys, this is the team that we've seen, right? And we have to come to the conclusion and be honest with ourselves that have they overachieved up until now? Absolutely. I'm not shy to say it. I believe that's from the beginning.
Yeah.
And they've had to collect points. And this is a dip in form where it started in the new year. Dip in form combined with injuries, combined with COVID. You're going to take some losses. But these games like this against Napoli, and we saw it against Verona, right? Verona, we were all, Verona's been giving the top 7 a hard time. But yet against Verona, we got Krunic on the free kick. Those things are not going to happen all the time, right? So, but they showed a willingness to go get that game and finish off that game. Against Napoli, we just missed too many chances. And I'm going to go back to the Rebic cross to Leao. If Leao wants to be, and I'm going to stop talking about the running around and the not putting an effort, but if Leao wants to be a professional soccer player, especially with Milan, and especially as a second option to Ibra, which I think he's not, those chances cannot be missed, guys. And
okay,
you're going to lose the game.
Steve, let's talk about it. Okay, so Leao. There's a lot of people on your side or, criticizing Leao. Where is he? No grinta. He doesn't, I was going to call this podcast
Vince is frozen.
a little. Oh, am I good now?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay. I was going to call this podcast a little less Leao, a little more Rebic, please. Not for the red card, but for the emotion. Now, we talk about Leao not being, not giving us exactly what we're trying to find in these bad times. But there's the other side of me, Steve, that says he's not a natural striker. Then the other side of me says again, yeah, but he played in that striker position and he scored. Oh, give him time. I don't know what to think, Steve. I'm really split down the middle. I don't know what to think about Leao. How do you feel?
For me, it's character, guys. I argue all the time on the Milan Club chat, and it's not because I want to be annoying. But for me, I watch the game, and it's not for statistics. You understand? Like, you can tell me he has 5 goals and he has 4 assists. That's great. Statistics are one thing. But when you watch the game and he's not giving you anything in possession, he's not giving you anything in the final third, he's putting somewhat of an effort on the defensive side, but that's not enough at the professional level. You understand? So his opportunity here was, before the Ibrahimovic injury and all the injuries that we had, let's face it, guys, Leao was not starting. And he was not starting for a reason. He would come in as a substitute. He would be fresh. He would be a little bit more dynamic. Now it seems as he starts the game, he seems a bit confused. But now we're 9 games into it, right? So it's not, hey, we just threw him in there, let's go. I'm pretty sure they practice. I'm pretty sure they have schemes in the offensive zone. But I don't see that. You're not going to get the same type of pressure in practice that you are going to get in a game. And I don't think he can handle that pressure because in the air, yes, he's winning balls, but they're not going to the right people. When play to foot, he's having trouble holding on to that. And we've talked about it, from the game against Verona and against Manchester United. And it's not to beat the dead horse, but if you're that striker, if you're that focal point of when people are in trouble and you need to get the ball out, to hold possession is even probably more important than scoring goals. We can't hold possession.
On that note, Gigi La Patate, happy birthday to Gigi La Patate. But Steve, I know what you're saying, but in the end, what would you have done differently? You can't put, if Leao's not going to go center forward, who would you have put? Especially at this game. Would you have had any alternative to this starting lineup?
Well, we don't. That's why he starts. Guys, it's obvious, guys. And I'm going to say it here, and it's a fantastic post. I want to give credit to who, I think it was Sempre Milan who posted it, and I'm going to check just to be 100% sure, because it deserves it. And it comes from Pioli's news conference, basically saying, can you imagine Inter without Lukaku, Lautaro?
Yeah. I don't like that comment, but whatever.
But it's the truth, Vince.
Steve,
can you imagine?
A coach doesn't need to say that.
Of course he does.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't, Steve.
He has to say what he feels. He has to say what he feels. He doesn't have that team. You cannot compare. We're not comparing apples to apples here, guys. You take away Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez, and pick someone else.
But Steve, we won without our star players.
Answer my question.
Inter is not even in the discussion for Serie A.
So let me go to Juventus. You take out Ronaldo. Does that affect Juventus?
Obviously.
I'll give you.
No, but it's okay. He scored 3 goals against Cagliari, and that was
that's not the point. We're going to get to that. Go through all the teams. Take out their best players. At a certain point, you will have. A certain point, you will have a dip in form.
100%. But it's not for the coach to say that.
Of course, it's for the coach. So who's going to say it?
It's not his place. You shouldn't talk about the competition. Talk about yourself. I'm sorry.
But you have to compare apples to apples. You're not comparing apples to apples right now. Tell me Milan would have their full team. And this is, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm fed up with the excuses, but in reality, it's the truth. And people are saying, continuously saying, they seem tired. Guys, you have to remember that at this time last year, we were not playing soccer. We had a break. We're not deep enough without a break.
Not deep enough. I totally agree with you on that one, but I just find that for us to come out and Pioli saying, we all know it. We all know not having our starters. But Steve, this team has overachieved and won without these key players. So now coming out and saying, if we've won a bit. We have never gone this long without all these. Steve, we're 21 weeks straight. Serie A.
Vince, you have to remember there was a break between, Vince. You're not looking at it like that, Vince. Don't make me school you on the podcast just for nothing. You're forgetting the break, Vince. The Steve. 5 beers are affecting you. The break makes a big deal. We did not have this break. Injuries will happen. We're not deep enough.
In the end. And I get that. What has been proven through Serie A and Europa League is that we do not have a deep enough team to compete in these competitions.
No.
We can't change.
No. You're saying it's not proven through Serie A and through Europa League.
Right now,
we started the season not being deep enough.
What I'm trying to get at is that we gambled and it didn't come through. We gamble thinking like we can
Right
ride
now,
this.
right now, to be very honest with you, it's coming through. They're in second place. We're March 15th. You cannot argue with the gamble right now. Will it last till the end of the season is another question.
Do we have enough to pull a surprise on Thursday?
At a certain point, there's no surprises. Why is it a surprise against Manchester United? We went to Old Trafford. We pulled out.
They're getting all their big guys back, all their world-class players back.
I'm not scared of Manchester United.
I'm not scared either. But if we end up beating Manchester United or passing through, do you think we have enough legs to at least make top four?
No, we don't have enough legs. We're not deep enough. But he has to manage the game. He has to start earning some money now, Pioli. This is not me and you that picked the teams.
No.
So it's for him.
In reality, it's like, look, this is what you've been handed. We know you don't have the key players to make, but deal with it, right? So I know people have abandoned ship. Oh, Milan this and Milan that. But again, gentlemen, if any of us, I don't know, it's repetitive. If any of us would have told you, oh, by the way, there's going to be 11 games left, or we're going to be in second place with the 1 point behind, every single one of you would have taken that position. Steve, am I wrong?
Absolutely. There's no one that would say no to that.
So
the problem is that it's only March 15th.
You know what, Steve? I want to ask you. I want to ask you about everybody else, right? Because it's been a while that we haven't done. What do we call this? 7 minutes of Serie A. But let me pull it up here. So, Stevie P, I want to take you through the scores of every other team. So let's start with Friday's 3-2 Crotone. No surprise. Lazio had to win, right, Steve? They haven't come up with some.
Had to win, but my surprise is Crotone gave them a match.
They shouldn't have. And Crotone is battling for relegation, right? So Lazio needed to do that. Atalanta, Spezia. Everybody's like, oh, Atalanta's back on track. Atalanta, you beat Spezia. I don't see where the big deal is. For Muriel, what a great goal.
There's a big deal there. You have to respect the opponent when it's time to respect.
You know what I have
right
a problem
behind.
Okay, Steve, let me ask you. Muriel, everybody's like singing his praises, right? If Muriel is such a great player, why didn't he stick at the one team? Why did he have to move around to all these teams in the last 3-4 years?
Where have you been for the last 3-4 years? Who stays at a team for 3-4 years?
If you're good of a player, he stays, no?
Vinny, you can't doubt that Muriel is not a good player.
I'm not saying he's a good player.
He fits perfectly in their system, and they're using him the way he's supposed to be used. Maybe he wasn't used properly in the other ones, but you cannot discredit what he does.
I'm not discrediting it.
He comes off the bench, scores. He starts, he scores.
Good point there. Fiorentina beating Benevento 4-1, Steve. Is this something we should worry about? We do have the game on Sunday against Fiorentina. What do you think?
No. There's nothing. Fiorentina is terrible. I think Benevento, Inzaghi plays a very aggressive style. You missed a game there, Sassuolo Verona.
Oh, sorry.
Again. But we'll talk
Exciting
Benevento
game.
First.
Yeah.
Benevento, they roll the dice, and when they think that they can try to win, they're going to not play. They're not going to park the bus. And they thought they could win against Fiorentina. And if Fiorentina, Vlahovic was pretty good. I think he scored 2 goals that game. But look, Fiorentina for Milan is a key game for them to show if we get everybody that we're supposed to get back. It seems like Ibra's going to come back. It seems like Benacer is fit again.
Looks like they're coming back on Thursday. Supposedly Ibra on the bench, Benacer available. But would you play them on Thursday, Steve?
I think I would go I would roll the dice, to be very honest with you. And I don't think the team that played against Manchester United had a bad game. Was it a world-beating game? No, but I think everybody did their job, and we pulled out a tie. I was actually surprised on Sunday when he did play Hakan again, and Hakan didn't last very long. So I thought he was going to start from the bench and maybe come on, but look. Fiorentina is a key match for Milan just to get back on track, especially in Serie A. I don't remember if they're at home or not, but it's worrying me that they can't win games at San Siro for some reason.
Very worrisome. Then we go to Genoa Udinese 1-1. a very sleeper. Bologna putting up the 3 points, Steve, recently, right? Good for them.
Bologna has always been a team that could score. It's just they played a team that can't score as much as them.
Parma with the surprise of the week. Would you not argue against that? Like Roma,
Wow. That was something else, to be very honest with you. And I was reading Fonseca's just his presser before, and he said, beware of Parma. They're trying to fight and get themselves out of relegation. Did Roma walk in there and think it was an easy 3 points a la Milan versus Spezia? Looks
Maybe.
like it. And Roma is dealing with some injuries too. Seems like Mkhitaryan is out for a month.
Torino 1, Torino 2, because Inter didn't do anything this game. Just Torino handed them this game. I watched most of the game, and I'm not sure. You know what? I was looking at this game, Steve, and I felt, this is like the Juventus of 2-3 years ago. Where we'll be like, oh my God, they played so horrible, but they still got the 3 points. Inter did not play a fantastic game, a Scudetto winning performance. That's my opinion. I don't know if you watched it.
These are the dog days of Serie A. 3 points is 3 points. They're going to take it. They're going to run. They're going to celebrate in the locker room. But Torino at 1-1, I thought that they were gonna play for the tie.
Yeah.
And I gotta give. I tip my hat to Lautaro. That was a nice header.
Even though there might have been a foul on the play, but
yeah,
that's a story for another day. Stevie P, hold on. The haters, are they listening? The haters. Cagliari 1, Juventus 3. Now, Steve, I'm gonna give my indigestion of the week right now. How is losing to Porto? Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. How is scoring 3 goals against Cagliari? What a great reaction to losing to Porto. We're not even going to talk about that a definite red card. And Steve and I have been very adamant about this. We're not here to talk about the systematics and everybody's, the referees are being bought. Steve, this was horrible. Like, why are you praising a man that, you scored 3 goals against Cagliari? Seriously? We're supposed to be praising you for your performance?
Yeah, but you have to understand that Serie A is never going to downplay that, right? So I get it. I get it from marketing and stuff like that. But let's be honest. If Ronaldo, and I think it's Frank from Serie A Sit Down who said it, if Ronaldo is any other player, he has an automatic red card. I will bring you guys back. Go look in the archives of Milan Weekly Podcast when we lost to Juventus in Coppa Italia. The Rebic red card. I was adamant that was not an intent to injure. It was an intent to play the ball. I may be wrong, and I said it. I may be wrong, but that's the way I played the game. I went to play the ball. Ronaldo, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think he went to play the ball.
Steve.
Let me finish.
Okay.
You need, as a league, to be consistent. If the Rebic or any high foot is a red card, the Ronaldo call had to be a red card.
And I think that's what we're getting at. We're not debating that Ronaldo intentionally tried to hurt the goalkeeper. Is that if you've called this kind of foul a penalty throughout the season, why you're not calling it now?
And he was
Steve, we could talk about the penalty with Napoli and Milan. Now, do I think it was a penalty? No. I'm going to be honest. I think it was very soft if they would have called that. But looking at the history of what's been called this season, you have to call that. And I truly believe, and I want to get your input on this one. I feel because Hernandez has been throwing himself on the pitch often, I think that's the reason we didn't get a penalty on that one.
Well, that shouldn't be the case, to be very honest with you.
It shouldn't be.
It should not play into the ref's thing. The penalty is not a penalty, whether you look at it at VAR 100 times or not. Let's face it, guys, it's not a penalty. If that's a penalty, guys, the games are going to take 17 hours to finish.
So why have they called the previous similar calls?
That wasn't
penalties?
even close to that, guys. Come on, he didn't even touch him. What gets me more aggravated than that is that you'll see the tackle from Di Lorenzo on Theo Hernandez. for me, again, I'm going to say, guys, that is a yellow card.
Hmm.
But if you look at past games, Milan included or Milan not included, those are red cards. So the inconsistency has everybody on social media going at it and punching themselves in the face. I don't want to sit here and say, you know what, he's playing both sides of the fence. The problem is that the way I like to see the game, that's a yellow card, put it on the floor and go. But the way they're using VAR, that's not the case. The way they're using VAR is they want to stop those types of tackles when you show your cleats. If Di Lorenzo doesn't show his cleats there, then guys, there's a lot of red cards that you have to go back on and say, hey, I think we made a mistake. But they won't do that.
I think that's the problem. The problem relies not in, okay, this is a blatant penalty or not, is that, but if you've done it in the past. Anyways, I'm not saying, Steve, that if we would have tied it up with a penalty, there would have been a shitstorm, but in the end, we deserve to lose. We did not show up to this game, and we have Europa League, and we have Fiorentina on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I don't think we've done the daylight savings time, but not the rest of Europe, right? So I think we're going to be watching the game on Thursday at 4 and the game on Sunday at 1 p.m. So, Steve, what do you feel of the next upcoming games? These are must wins.
I think Milan needs to regroup, and we're going to talk about it now. And I don't know if there are questions, but it's very important.
Go ahead.
I'm a Rebic fan. I'm a real Rebic fan because I like his intensity. I like the stone cold. I like the the off the ball things that he does where there's no stats for that. But taking a red card when you're trying to get back into a game and being someone who's more of a leader, taking a card like that shows that we're losing a bit of our mindset of what the goal is here. And I think it's up to management and the manager to settle everybody down, because if we lose our mindset and our concentration where the goal at the beginning of the year, I can bet my balls on it, was let's make it to Champions League. Right now, that goal is there. You're there. The goal now is to stay there.
Where do you stand on one side, Steve, we're like, fuck yeah, Rebic, you showed some emotion, and he did create a lot before. Hold on, let me talk.
You cannot talk for me. You're saying, yeah,
no,
Rebic.
I'm giving you my opinion. Can I give you my opinion?
No, because you're gonna make people misunderstand what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm not.
Rebic taking a card like that, where it's an insult to the referee, there's no explanation. There's no there's emotion. No. But there's no. You have to say you have to concentrate here. Taking a card like that, there's no emotion there. Taking a red card in a tackle not to injure someone, that's fine. I'm okay with that emotion there. Like we're gonna bring up Theo Hernandez, right?
Yeah.
Theo Hernandez had a problem.
That was emotion.
Man.
Yeah.
He went from the left back side to the right back side to go tackle Osimhen. As a fan, I'm like, yes, that's the emotion that I want to see. And he didn't take a red card. He took a nice hard yellow.
Should have been a red.
Should have been a red because he was nowhere close to the ball.
Yeah.
But as someone who wants to see Milan progress, our best left back shouldn't be taking that type of red card. And the only possible striker that we have should not be taking a red card by insulting the ref. There's no Rebic's call is there's no emotion. That's pure stupidity.
I'm frustrated from the card. I just felt that there was emotion where we needed, but it was completely in the wrong direction. Like he showed us
complete stupidity, and there's no emotion there, Vince. That's stupidity.
It is.
Why?
It is.
Why? Because we need to get back into this game. We need to salvage a point.
What are we going to look like in these next games, Steve? What are we going to look like?
We better get people back. We gotta. You know what? Maybe if Leao's not hurt, I don't know if he's going to be available for Manchester United, but maybe he doesn't play and he can come back. Maybe Leao can get a spark by Ibra coming back and maybe finally playing on the left. I don't know. But that's something that Rebic had to go through his head. One, he's not 100%. We threw him on. 2, we need you to try to tie up this game against Napoli, who've been playing fuck the dog.
Yeah, no.
3, you take a card that, for now, it's 1 match. Let's say it becomes 4 or 5 match ban. Because if he said that I saw your mother prostituting in Naples, we got some fucking serious problems here.
No, I think he just said figlio di puttana, but anyways, we'll see where that comes. I think if he would have really said something bad, Steve, we would have heard by now, but that's just my opinion. Stevie P, we got quite a few comments on the Patreon machine. First question, Ryan Percy. Hey, Vinny and Steve, this was a tough loss, but I saw it coming by the way we played. Question. Did either of you notice that the team had really lost their die-hard mentality of late? They are not playing for each other, constantly making the wrong decisions, and in some cases, not passing to certain team members. Example, Samu, Hauge, even if it's the right option. I believe that is very concerning because this team was always amazing as a unit and not as individuals. We are not Bayern Munich out there, and the team needs to realize that and play for each other. Have you noticed anything like that, Steve, that it just seems like that team mentality is not there, or everybody's just trying to do it all on their own?
No, I can't see that. To be very honest, I didn't see this coming. Not a game like this against Napoli where we really did nothing, guys. This was just us missing chances, guys, and us not being deep enough, right? So I listened to DAZN for the whole game. I went through the commentators. In the end, they're right. You're making a change, and you're taking off Castillejo and Kessie, and you're bringing in 2 other guys. You're not making your team better.
Thank you.
That's the problem. Like, when they're wrong, but when they're right, they're right. You know, you're taking out Hakan, you're bringing in Diaz. You're not really making your team better. You're taking out Kessie, you're bringing in Mete. You're not really making your team better.
The difference from our team to, we're talking with the guys there on the Radio Sonera, and I said, when you bring in on guys as Ala Inter, as the Ericssons and the Alexis Sanchez, and you're bringing on guys like Hauge and, Castillejos or the Salamakers, that it defines exactly like where your bench is.
In quality. It's a big difference in quality. And look at even Napoli, guys. Guys, Napoli brings in a fresh Osimhen at the 65th minute. Yes, he's been injured. Yes, he's been, he's had some. He's been inconsistent. But man, they didn't pay him that amount of money because he's not a good player, and he showed it. He was giving some problems, especially because Milan had to push forward, and on the counter, oh boy.
Steve, Ian has a very important question, and are you ready for it? I would say, are you sitting down? But he wants to know. Spaghetti or linguine? This was his question. It's. I know if you need to take some time to think, like spaghetti. I have to go with linguine on this one, Steve. I like the texture.
I'm a linguine guy. They're flat. They're cool.
They're cool, right? The linguine is the Ian. Thank you very much.
The thing, Ian, is it's tough because it's not a rigatto or a liscia kind of thing. They're both long pastas.
But if you had to have your choice, what kind of sauce would you have with the linguine?
Linguine marinara. Fish and everything. The most expensive one.
Derek saying, I believe Pioli has gotten close to reaching his peak with this team. Do you keep him if the team reaches Champions League? I like that question from Derek. So, has he reached his peak? Have we peaked it out?
What is the peak? That's my question back to everybody. Everybody's saying Pioli's met his peak. What is the peak?
By the way, Compare Frank is saying spaghetti, no question. That's New York. That's New York.
Put me some sauce. Put me some sauce.
But his follow-up question is: who is a realistic replacement for Ibra this summer, and someone who isn't 2 steps from a casa di ricovero? Yeah. So is Belotti, Steve? If Torino goes down into the standings and somehow, and I said this today with the guys, I believe Torino should be relegated and start fresh. Is Belotti the replacement? Nobody's talking about him.
I don't mind Belotti. I'm not the biggest fan. I find that he's a bit injured, injury prone. But I like that big physical striker. The thing with Belotti is, guys, he needs service, right? Like, he's not getting that service at Torino. Will it be different at Milan? I think it would increase a bit. What I like about Belotti too is he could create on his own, right?
Yeah.
He's able to get the ball at the top of the box and take a shot. Again, will it be too much pressure? I have no idea. A replacement for Ibra, they better. From the beginning, I said we needed to find a vice Ibra for this year.
Which
This
we don't.
was, this
which
was
we
one
don't
that
even have, right?
we were gambling with. Someone this year and someone on the right. And I hope it's not, but I hope it's not what's going to cause us to drop out of the top 4 if we do. But now is we went through this injury slump. We're slowly getting people back. I'd like to see what Milan does from here on out the next 12 games.
Gio never has a question, Steve. He just says, nothing much to say, just disappointed in the team's performance. Always keep up the great work. Gio, you're number one. Thank you for sharing those pictures with the Milan Club Montreal. Fabio says, good day, boys. An awful performance against one of the bigger clubs in Italy. How upset would you be with Rebic knowing how depleted our squad is, getting a stupid red card? It's the sort of behavior that could lead our squad into another 5th or 6th place finish. I know we've overachieved in 2020 and injuries have brought us to our knees again. I think Kessie and Leao have been removed early, was thinking ahead to Manchester United. How worried would you be if we don't progress on Thursday? Would you? I don't know. Like, is it the easy way out, Steve, to go like, well, it's okay. It's only Europa League. If we don't perform on Sunday, on Thursday,
I'm not using that anymore. That's not. It's.
There, right? We're in the thick of it.
I thought that they would be able to get past this round here. I was looking at maybe quarterfinal, semifinal. I don't know if we're going to be deep enough for that. I also didn't think that we were going to be in second place, guys. Let's face it. So will I be disappointed? A little bit, just because I saw what we did at Old Trafford, and we got a favorable result to win the tie. So I will be disappointed. But maybe that's the rest that Milan needs to keep us in the top 4. So maybe that disappointment will, at the end of the season, we're going to all be happy about it. Enmas said for replacement of Ibra in a higher quote, in a higher in the chat.
Yeah.
He said Vasilic from Fiorentina. Enmas, Vasilic from Fiorentina. Maybe yes, maybe no. But he reminds me of, if we sign that guy, record this podcast, he will be Kalinic 2.0.
We're going to pay him all kinds of money, and he's going to come and he's going to completely flop out, right? Next Patreon question. Steve, this one, Youssef just said, I am not going to ask anything after Anwar's essay above, just Forza Milan. So he's replying to Anwar saying, hi, guys. And this is quite an essay, but a poor performance yesterday. I stopped watching at the end of the second half because that was awful. Again, Dalot giving the pass away, leaving the midfield open, and Theo leaving Politano alone with no marking like most of the goals we received this season. He could have run back to stop him, but he did not bother.
Yeah, but hold on. Okay, before you continue there, because I know I read the essay. You're going to put the blame on Theo. But Theo has already committed forward. Watch that play.
Yeah.
He's already committed
It's
forward.
Kessie's fault. I hate saying this, Steve.
Yeah.
I hate saying this.
He's already committed forward, right? So Dalot giving away that ball. Guys, there's a thing in calcio. It's called contropiede. They're going to catch you on the counter. They caught Milan on the counter. And they still had a lot of work to do. The Zielinski pass, that's a top-notch pass.
It was.
And we said it earlier in the podcast. The Politano really have one of those world-class cracks on net? No, he scuffs his shot, guys. This is where we at. When you're in a rut, you're in a rut.
Definitely.
You want to blame everybody. You can blame everybody to blame nobody. You understand? Like,
we can find excuses everywhere, Steve.
Of course.
Whenever it doesn't suit our narrative. He says people will protect Theo and say he brings so much to the offense. Yes, he does. But the goal was the beginning of the second half. We were not on a counter. We simply just let Politano do his thing, and that's shameful. He also deserved a clear red against Osimhen. He will never be the first left back for France with these choices, and people need to stop giving him flowers and criticize him for his critical mistakes as well. Donnarumma allowing almost every shot lately too, not not too decisive as expected.
Oy,
Hakan,
oy, 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 oy.
He's poking Anwar. He's poking. A good guy, but he was okay. You walked away there. Well, you don't like the comments. Shall I continue reading? Shall I continue reading? Let me continue reading.
No, come on, guys. This is ridiculous, guys. Politano we didn't make him do anything. It's a counter, guys. Like, are we watching the same game here?
He just felt that the reaction.
He scuffed his shot. We have a guy in nets, 20 years old. He's $100 million goalkeeper. He saved us more times than I can remember.
He's been doing a lot more. Like, I don't blame Donnarumma for getting great saves. Maybe the defense letting in too many shots. He continues by saying Hakan has been a ghost of a player this season, a moody player who has not been performing because of the contract extension. Maybe his wife/girlfriend problems that I heard on the commentators referred to. This happened last year too, I think. I really don't like players with these types of mentalities. Even with Ibra, he stepped back to being the same old Hakan. Or is it just me? I know he just came back from injury, but the season is almost over and he didn't add much, to be honest. Do you really think he should stay, or shall we look for real new alternatives and level up the quality of our midfield? I've been saying these remarks for quite a while now, including our Lord Castello, Romagnoli, Tio not giving his 100% defensively, and these things used to be covered for, but now it's just catching up to us. I just like those last comments, Steve, as these things are just catching up to us now. Is it, nobody believed in us for the first 21 games. Everybody seemed to have a reason. Well, this is the reason Milan is in first place. It must be rigore per il Milan, or it must be the referee's fingering. But is it just things catching up with us? And even at that, Steve, if you looked at our team at the beginning of the season on paper, who would have put us second with 11 games to go?
But it's not. But people overachieve. Why does Leicester win the EPL?
That was
you understand? Like, things like this will happen. We have overachieved. That's okay. It's okay. The problem is that things are catching up to us. Things are catching up to us now because we're in a drought. We're losing, right?
Yeah.
And for the last 21 games, when we're saying, guys, we're not deep enough. Guys, Leao is not a replacement for Ibra. Guys, we have a problem on the right-hand side. Steve, you're crazy. You're so negative, Steve. You're so negative. And now we're losing, and now everybody is catching up to us. Guys, it was eventually... Ibra is 39 years old. He was going to get hurt. Benacer is a horse. You understand? Maybe he wasn't going to get hurt, but there's going to be a dip in form.
Thank God Messi is what is he made out of? Metal? Like, thank God. Imagine a guy like that.
You understand? Like, someone like that, he's, knock on wood, more durable and does a lot, right? But injuries happen. They happen to every team. It's how you get out of that crisis. It's easy to coach when you're winning 21 games in a row. It's hard to coach out of a losing streak.
Yeah. Forza Milan. And Husney saying, hello, Vinny and Steve. Hope you guys are doing well. It's painful for Milan fans to watch several of the games since the turn of the year. I was disappointed to see so many fans celebrate the draw against Manchester United when we could have won it. And it worries me the expectation could be lowered so quickly. I'd like to know, how low do you think the current form will take us? Also, do you guys think Pioli is starting to lose the dressing room? He's repeating the same excuses post-match, injury, fatigues, but we won with a depleted squad last year in a similar tight schedule. So he's basically saying, what do you think, Steve?
There was a break last year. There was a break last year. There was a break last year.
There was. What was that break for? 6 weeks, Steve?
Yeah.
No, more than 6 weeks.
They stopped for COVID, guys. That's a break. It's like you started again. Everybody gets healthy. Everybody, knock on wood, doesn't get COVID. It happened. Now this year, at the turn of 2021, we started getting guys with COVID. Leao, Hakan, Ibra, everybody started getting COVID. It might have been before. I'm not even 100% sure now.
No, you know what? You know what's crazy, Steve, is that we're talking about this Milan, and you've kept the same narrative for the last several months, and I can't take that away from you. But if we would have started the season, I don't know, let's just say by first week of December, we would have been 9th in the league. And we came up with 10 wins in a row, and right now we're in second. It just feels like we talk about managing your expectations. Guys, we're trying to do the Champions League. I know, let's dream. Hey, we've been in first place for the first 21. Let's dream, and that's fine to dream. But why is it so easy for fans today to just, and I call them fans very, very loosely, why is it so easy to abandon ship? Why is it that we cannot get together? And it's like, we can criticize all we want. That's our jobs. We're, what do you call them? Armchair quarterbacks. But why is it that people seem to like a couple of games? That's it. I don't want to know nothing about this Milan. We suck. I don't get it, Steve. I really don't get it.
It's a result-driven society now. What have you done for me lately? Unfortunately, this is not the way you support a team, guys. And in his comment, I forgot what was his name who put that comment on Patreon.
Azni.
Huzni. We're celebrating the 1-1 draw. Well, we're celebrating the 1-1 draw because we had some unfortunate calls that went against us. Where yes, we could have been up, but let's face reality: we were not up. And I'd rather come back to San Siro 1-1 than come back to San Siro 1.
I think celebrating is a harsh word, like the way we did the post-game reaction. We were happy because it's like nobody believed in us against Manchester United, even with half a team, and we deserved that 1 point. Forget the fact that we deserved to win, but I don't think celebrating is a correct word on his part.
No, but maybe not. Maybe he missaid it, but you're going to win the last-minute thing. It's going to feel different than losing. When you lose in the last minute, I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. When I drop points in the last minute, I'm pissed.
You think we'll get a chance, Steve, on Thursday?
Of course.
So Shire saying, "Oh, we got everybody back now." Pogba,
that's fine for him. That's great. Let's just play. It's 95 minutes of soccer. Let's go.
I just want to be like, guys, I don't understand. Again, I'm all for criticizing the team. And Steve, you've been very vocal about criticizing the team, but you always supported this team. I just don't get where, we had some fun with David, the Scudetto bus. Let's believe. I just don't get the people that will go, oh yeah, I'm on the Scudetto bus, and after yesterday, no, this fucking team sucks, or we're not gonna make Champions League. Guys, how can you go from one extreme to the other? I don't get it. Don't talk to me about we're gonna win the Scudetto this year, which the people really believe that, and now saying that this team is shit.
Yeah. It's because they have like post-traumatic stress disorder from the last 10 years. Now, depending where you are as a Milan fan, I date myself, and I'm like early 90s, late 80s, depending what I was able to watch and could understand. To someone who started in the 2000s, right, or 2000, it's a big difference, right? 2000s we're used to winning. We're winning Champions League, we're winning Scudetto, so on and so forth. So Gigi Lapatat saying it's not abandonment, it's frustration and disappointment. Well, for the last 10 years, guys, we've been around that 5, 6, 7, 8 spot around this time of the year. Now you're in second, and it's abandoned ship. So I'm having trouble understanding the disappointment. A disappointment in form, absolutely, me too. You see it. I see it. I have other people messaging me. I walk in the street. People say, "Oh, Milan really laid an egg against Napoli." I have to shrug my shoulders and I have to say yes.
It's just like, let's look at this as a I don't know, Formula One race, a dog race, a horse race. Your horse, dog, car is not expected to do first, maybe 3 or 4th. He's leading the race for 3/4 of the race. Are you gonna get disappointed if he finishes 3rd? And I don't like my friend Carlo likes to troll us on Facebook. Oh, you guys thought you were winning the Scudetto. Those words never came out of our mouths. I personally said I was entertaining the idea with David. I'm walking towards the bus stop, right? Because I wanted to be a bit
I
positive.
responded to Carlo.
Yeah, I know. But Carlo's a troll, right? He just likes to troll.
It's fine. It's fine. But when you say something that's not true, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to.
No, you're good. Yeah.
So to give some context, this troll is saying, Milan was celebrating at the beginning of the year because they thought they were going to win the Scudetto. No, Milan was celebrating at the beginning of the year because they went 21, 22 games unbeaten and were having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
And apparently, nowadays, you can't have a good time because as you have a good time, everybody has to find a reason to throw you down. So now that Inter's celebrating, now it's a double standard.
That's fine, yeah.
Now we're 12 games away. Inter is allowed. It's okay for Inter to celebrate in the locker room.
Yeah.
And if they lose the Scudetto now, what's going to happen? Because it's 9 points, guys. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Is it a comfortable, nice lead? Yeah. But anything could happen, guys. And I'm not saying it's Milan.
Fiorentina beat Juventus, guys. Remember that, right? So, yeah. I don't know. Everybody's just get... in the end, Steve, I love the fact that... When was the last time we felt this way? For a title race for the last 4 positions in Serie A.
I said it in the chat. I said it in the Milan Club Montreal chat. You guys, you want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4? We're going to sweat our balls till the end of the season, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's not going to be easy breezy. It's not guaranteed 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 12 games left.
11.
12 games of balls. 11 games left.
Yeah.
11 or 12, whatever.
The Juventus games again till next month, April 2nd, I think.
It's good that you brought that up because that's my indigestion of the week.
Let's finish off with that, yeah?
Who are Napoli and Juventus to decide when they're going to play their own game? So what's the point of the league then? So, okay, everybody's injured with Milan. I don't want to play till I get all my players back.
There's nothing to understand, Steve.
Like, is this normal though? No, the game was placed on this day. Play the fucking game on the date that it was placed. No. Napoli and Juve, they said, you know what? We're not gonna. We don't feel like playing it.
No más into this game.
Okay, we're gonna play it after Easter. Yeah, thank you. So you can get players back, so you can be fit. So let's say we fast forward to April. And knock on wood, I hope this never happens. But let's say there's an outbreak of coronavirus. And you can't play that motherfucking game. What's going to happen?
We're going to put it
We're going to put it next year after the Scudetto's done. Like, come on, guys. This is ridiculous, man. This is the stuff that annoys me of Serie A. And I'm a big proponent of Serie A. I love Calcio. I love Serie A. But things like this cannot happen. They don't happen in the NBA. They don't happen in the NFL.
We're getting ridiculed, Steve, and with reason. Look at these decision makings, and I'm gonna go with against Serie A on glorifying Cristiano Ronaldo and che reazione di CR7 3 gol. Go fuck yourselves. Seriously, go fuck yourselves. Because I'm not here to talk about conspiracies and referees. You know what? If there's a controversy about his goal, don't come out and fucking praise the guy. What? Because 3 goals against fucking Cagliari is an answer to, oh my God, losing to Porto? Go fuck yourselves. I'm sorry. I need to take that out. I just found it completely ridiculous. That's my opinion. That's my indigestion of the week. But let's talk about our Brioshkis of the week, STVP. Do we have any good moments of this week?
I have a good feeling about Thursday's match against Manchester United.
Okay.
I think that getting some guys back, getting some fresh legs, getting the team playing again together, I think a good result or a good showing at Manchester can restart the engine that is Milan, and not 21 games in a row unbeaten Milan, but a Milan that showed a little bit of grinta like they showed against Verona. The grinta that they showed the first derby, just get back to that, team and having fun, because whether we like it or not, guys, you see the body language on these Milan guys. Now the pressure is starting to come. and the youngest team in Serie A has to navigate this pressure. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the guys like Ibra, on the older players in the team to try to navigate this rough spot. But I think the Europa League match will give them some confidence going into Fiorentina, and I think it starts to get the schedule starts to get a bit hectic, but I have a good feeling.
I like your good feeling. It's all about, there's one thing about being realistic and being positive. We need to keep the positivity going. What are we going to do? Look at our team and go, we're going to lose this game? No. Let's keep on believing. And guys, if we believed in the last 10 years, and we had no reason to believe in the last 10 years, right, Steve? So guys, let's a bit of positivity. That's all we're asking. And let's discuss, right? Showing professionalism and doing his best. Thank you, Enmas. And Tonali is the best part of the week. You know what? I'm going to give thank you, Enmas. So Tonali had a great performance, Steve. I like the way he moved around. You could hear Pioli scream throughout the game. He was playing like in that regista kind of role. I don't want to say a la Pirlo, but a very between the center backs. How did you take Tonali's performance so far?
I think it's getting better. I think he's growing. I think it's not up to his standards yet, there, guys. But I saw today a post, guys. We can't forget that he's 20 years old, right? He's gonna get some good experience at the under 21s. I think his ceiling is very high. And I hope that Milan doesn't do what we traditionally do with young Italians and not have patience. I think we have to have patience, and so far we've been having patience. We've been not understanding why sometimes he hasn't started, but you can see sometimes the 20-year-old. Sometimes you see the prime 25, 26-year-old, but sometimes we're still seeing the 20-year-old. Once he eliminates the 20-year-old. The 20-year-old, and we consistently see that 25 maturity. I think he's gonna be in Milan's starting lineup faster than we think.
Stevie P, let's finish off on this one here. Steve, if we had a Royal Rumble match in Serie A, we're down to the last 5 guys, right? The last 5 competitors are in the ring. Who's that one guy that comes out from under the ring and tries to win it all? Like he's been hiding under the ring the whole match, comes in and he tries to win it all.
Yeah, it's Juventus that's underneath the ring.
You know what? I can't argue with you on that one, but we'll see how the Royal Rumble of Serie A ends up. Guys, thanks very much for watching, listening, downloading. We will be back on Thursday post game. So 9 p.m. at nighttime with the Patreon members. Let's hope Stevie P with the positivity. Guys, stop trashing on our team even after a couple of games. If you've supported this team in the last 10 years, in the years of Kevin Constant, the years of Niang, and the days of Steve, give me some bad names from back in the day. Like if you supported that team, guys, please support. It's time. Don't trash on a team. Ovunque e sempre. Unless you have Steve, you have any final words?
Milan, Forza Milan.
Forza Milan. Have yourselves a good night. Oh, hold on a second.